Welcome back to the channel, where I review new movie and television shows that are exclusive to streaming platforms. And then I go ahead and actually give you my recommendation up front. You don't even have to watch the rest of the video if you don't want to, but you're going to want to go ahead and actually see if I can justify my recommendations. Today, we're going to go and actually take a look at Tyler Perry's Finding Joy on Prime Video. Now, for target audience members. And by target audience members, I'm going to go ahead and actually say if you are a fan of rom coms, drama, and romance type of movies, and if you're a fan of Tyler Perry's movies, both produced, directed, written, those types of films, I'm going to go ahead and actually say that this is one that you're going to want to watch this Christmas season on one of those like Cocoa driven nights. Wait a minute. How is that a recommendation? Good question. Since we are in the holiday season, I've got four spots, four tiers of recommendations for my holiday movies. One, instant Christmas classic, ones that got to watch this every Christmas holiday season, top tier, top flight. Two, not one that's going to be an instant classic, but it's worthy of your time to watch this holiday season on one of those nice cold nights where you're just trying to find something that get you in the holiday spirit. Next tier down is a background movie. One of those ones that, hey, I'm not going to pay a whole lot of attention to this, but it's worth to have on the background while I'm baking cookies, wrapping presents, decorating a tree, all that kind of good stuff. Give you a little bit of attention. Bottom tier is it's nothing but coal. You put it in the stocking stuffer of people that are just trash, because that's what that movie would be. So those are my four tiers. And again, like I said, if you are a target audience member, I'm saying this is one to go and actually watch this holiday season with some hot cocoa. For casual viewers, however, if you're not a fan of rom-coms, dramas, all that kind of good stuff, you're not a fan of Tyler Perry's, and you're wondering, is this going to be something that's worth your time? I'm going to go ahead and actually bump it down a tier and say, this is a background movie for you. Now, those are my recommendations. Stay tuned and I'll let you know how I came up with those recommendations.
Hi. Come to Colorado with me for the holidays.
I'd love to go.
Don't get your hopes up too high. These romance novels don't happen in real life.
Are you calling me delusional?
Tyler Perry's Finding Joy is a drama romance movie that premiered on Prime Video in November of 2025. It has a runtime of 1 hour and 47 minutes, and it stars Shannon Thornton as Joy. You may have actually seen her on P-Valley. I'm going to go ahead and actually say the main male character in this is Tosin as Ridge. I will not go ahead and actually attempt to pronounce that last name. I'm going to just put it down here. You'll be able to go ahead and actually see it. But you may have actually known him from Run the World. Brittany S. Hall as Ashley, and she actually has a reoccurring role on Ballers. And then last but not least is Anaya as Letitia. And she's actually an R&B singer with hits like Best Thing and For the Streets. And this, to what I could go ahead and actually see, is her first acting role. So those are the stars. What do we have for the synopsis? Stranded in Colorado after a devastating holiday revelation, a talented but overlooked New York City designer finds unexpected love transforming her life and career path. Again, not one of these complex stories or Christmas stories or anything like that. We've seen a lot of these types of plots, right? Now, the best comparison I could go ahead and actually give you for this particular movie, if you're trying to go ahead and actually figure out what to compare this to, I would go ahead and actually say like Sweet Home Alabama, where you kind of have the high fashion designer that's kind of like Joy with a perfect city in New York City, and she returns to her small town. I think that's the best comparison of movie that I could go ahead and actually see out here. Or if you're kind of like a fan of a lot of Tyler Perry's more recent types of films like Acrimony, is probably going to be something similar type of writing style. So those are some things that I would go and actually say fairly compare to this particular film. Now, let's put it on here, and if I'm the target audience for this, or if I'm a casual viewer at all. So it's the category is the genre is it's a romance film. There's some drama in here, definitely, and elements of comedy, but it is mostly a romance film. Not my genre, not my favorite. Of course, I've seen some that I've liked and things like that, but overall, genre doesn't excite me. The actors, I've never seen any of these people, not that I can go and actually remember. So there's, for me, actors, you just have to, they don't have to be big name actors, but it's people that I've heard of, I know could carry a film. Even bit actors and things like that can go ahead and actually treat me on it. But this doesn't have that. So not really on board for that. The other two things on here that kind of help determine if I'm a casual viewer or if I'm a main for this one, Christmas movie. I love Christmas movies. I love them dearly. They just, even if they're sappy, even if sometimes I give you a big wide berth if you're a Christmas movie, because if you give me those feels of being a holiday film on there, kind of great on the curve. This is not a holiday movie. Just I'll come back to that, but because this is not a holiday movie, you don't get that curve. Okay? Just let you know. Last component of it, it's a Tyler Perry movie, and I will just go ahead and I'm going to refrain from going to actually being negative. I'm just going to say that it's not my genre, it's not my thing or what have you. So for this, I'm totally a casual viewer. I'm not the intended target audience for this type of film. I always want people to know where I'm coming from my perspective. You can go ahead and actually really understand. Do you like my recommendation or not? I think that's fair. If you like how that sounds, do me a favor, click like, share, subscribe. And now let me go ahead and give you some details on this review. The storytelling for this, let's see. The intro for Joy being our main protagonist and her friends are going to be like some of the main characters on it. It was fine. They established what they needed to with those characters, that they were close, good friends and what have you, that they really are like a family within each other, what have you. And so the intro and setting everything up was perfectly fine. My first gripe with this movie as it relates to storytelling is how and why Joy went to Colorado. I'm not into spoiling, so but I can discuss things that were in the trailer or that are in the synopsis, but I will not go ahead and actually spoil like true elements that go and actually speak to the movie. The reason why she went is you kind of know why she went to Colorado. How and why she got stranded in Colorado was a very poor execution. I did not like the way that went, of how that aspect transpired and everything that went ahead and actually got her into the stranded part of it. They wrote that in such a way that just did not make me a fan of the character. The second act of it being stranded was fine. It was slow moving in parts, but it's a romance movie. They're trying to go and actually have them connect and things like that. So you understand what's going on in there. But the way, considering how much time had passed within them being stranded together, what have you, it wasn't written well, because you almost felt that there was there was less, and it was more condensed than it really was, and things should have been fleshed out in a better way. Just honestly, just I didn't like the way that they paced that out to go ahead and actually make you feel what you should have, as far as this, this growing reflection of the relationship and all that kind of good stuff. There were some good lines in the discussion portions of Joy and Ridge's character together, what have you, but overall, I think the pacing was just not good. The best scenes that were written and within the storytelling is actually Joy's friends trying to find her. They If you did not have them in this film, I'm not sure exactly how I would have felt about this film overall. But their scenes really elevated the rest of this as far as storytelling. So storytelling, I'm going to go and say most of this was pretty boring, even if it wasn't horrible, but it was mostly boring in a way that, you kind of lost me here, there, and things like that. And it wasn't as interesting as I think it should have been. Uh, when you go ahead and actually just kind of look at, any growth that would have been done by the end of like the second act, they immediately destroy it in the third act. And we got kind of like the inevitable, and they did it purposefully to kind of get to this inevitable in conflict or what have you. And so I understand why, but they could have done it in a more tactful way, a better way, to make those characters grow and all that kind of stuff. And it just was not real witten. It was they really dumbed down the characters, and that just kind of ticked me off. The ending was okay, but how we got there was kind of dumb. This is the way that I feel about that. The acting was kind of like a roller coaster for me. Um, I I I think for how the characters were written, the leads did a good job. The dialogue was forced, and the plot conveniences were kind of eye rolling for how they wouldn't actually develop things on there. But I think they still had some decent chemistry. Both of them were obviously they were both good looking. They both had there were some moments where you just kind of felt some tenderness, some real drama, them go ahead and actually hold it back, being reserved, all this kind of stuff on there. So I think they did it as a decent job they could. The dialogue did not help them out, as well as some of the pacing that would have made me believe more into what they were developing overall. The Brittany S. Hall characters is the more pragmatic of Joy's friends was actually, she was good, but honestly, Anaya is her name, the R&B singer. Honestly, because this is her first acting role on here, but she actually stole the movie in every scene that she was in. I loved it, and I don't know if she was told to go and actually be herself or whatever, but loved her character on it. That was fun to go and actually watch her. They because honestly, I mean, they broke up a lot of like the dragging scenes and things like that, and they did a pretty good job. Everybody else kind of got throwaway characters. So outside of those main four people, everybody else wasn't given much to work with, and you could kind of tell it was just kind of like, I'm here, collecting a paycheck or whatever, not doing a whole lot. Kind of some other lingering thoughts that I have about the movie. One, I already mentioned that it's not a Christmas movie. It's not a holiday movie. Having being filmed in Colorado where snow is at and having one Christmas tree in a scene does not a Christmas movie maketh. Okay. Stop saying this is a holiday movie. Take down all of that advertising. Do it. This is just a romance movie. You went ahead and actually released it during this time and tried to make it that. It's not that. I just ticked me off on there because made me watch a romance movie because it was a Christmas movie, and I watch a lot of these Christmas movies. So, it's got on my nerves. Also trips me out that they rated this R, and the only reason why they rated this R because Tyler Perry movie is going to be rated R. Is it going to be some cussing? Is it going to be a sex scene? What happened? It's because of the drug use. What you call his friends is getting high while they go and actually looking for it. I'm like, that's really insane. That's ridiculous. For that to be rated R, just that was hilarious to me. And then the inciting event that got Joy ultimately stranded was very well shot. It was a scary scene. Kudos to the film crew, the actress, everybody that was involved in doing that, because that scene really made me feel like I was there, and you could just instantly, if you want to watch that scene in the summertime, and you will instantly go ahead and actually cool off. That's how good that particular scene was. It was just a freezing type of thing. And then there's one outhouse scene in there that actually did break up some stuff on there. And I think that also was a nice little lighthearted thing on there that I appreciated. Overall, I could watch the clips of Joy's friends riffing all day. Like you could do like a good 30 minutes of them outtakes or whatever they went actually did, and I think that would be absolutely hilarious. Outside of all of that, I think I'm good on this movie. Like it's just as a casual, the diminishing aspect of Joy's her self control was not really there. Her intellect, of the tones of this movie, it kills a lot of what potential was there for this movie overall. And I said that, diminishing of her character, the pacing was just kind of like, slow in paces or what have you. The reasoning of how we when actually got from act one to act two to act three just was all kinds of crazy or what have you. I feel like in the tones on here, they almost wanted to do a rom-com, like a true romance comedy, but then they switched to a drama, which was fine if it was going to be a drama, then make it a drama all the way out. But then it was almost like if you watched the trailer, you almost felt like it was going to be also a little bit of a misery type of thing on there. So I just felt like they didn't know what they were kind of shooting for overall in particular film. I will say that maybe a Tyler Perry fan will feel differently, that they are used to his writing style. This is way different than I was a fan of his way back in the day. But as time has gone on and kind of seeing the same tropes and seeing the same things, not a whole lot of evolution and seeing that the characters or whatever, like there's not a lot of growth there as far as the writing or what have you. And so I'm not a fan of his anymore, but maybe someone who still appreciates his movies and writing style will get more out of this. And that's why I say that main target audience members might go ahead and actually find some value to go and actually watch this holiday season. But for us casual viewers, throw it on the background. And then when you hear the Friends come on, go and check that out. When you hear the Outhouse sing, go and actually check that out. And then the ending is a nice, wholesome ending and all that kind of good stuff. But that's what I have for Tyler Perry's Finding Joy, now showing on Prime Video. Check it out.
What part of Colorado she said she was in?
The white people part.
Where's the restroom? Wait, is that an outhouse?
What are you cooking?
Rabbit stew.
I'm vegan.
You gonna die.
You stayed for the entire review. I appreciate you. You the bomb. You the MVP. You know what? If you stayed this long, you might as well go ahead and actually give me a thumbs up. You could do that. Do the thumbs up. Or if it was such an awesome review and you want to see more of these, you could go ahead and actually give me a subscription to my channel as I pump out more of these movies. If I haven't convinced you yet, you could go and actually watch one of these other reviews to see if it's up to par for you. But all that said, until the next time, I'll holler at you. Happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, all of that. Take care of yourself.
Whoa, jeez, look at the time. I gotta get to bed. Brush my teeth, feed the hog, still got some homework to do, the laundry, watch the